So who is Choyce Music, or just Choyce? I am an artist from Charleston, South Carolina. Born and raised here in Charleston, South Carolina. The only one in my family who is a native of Charleston, South Carolina. The rest of my family is from either Philadelphia or Jacksonville, Florida. But I love it. I love Charleston. Charleston is my home. I am a father. I am a husband. I am a worshiper. I am a musician. I am a creative. I'm a lot of things. I definitely try to do my best with my artistic skill set and just use it to glorify God in the best way that I possibly know how. Above all that, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. So that's who Choyce is. So I kind of alluded to a minute ago where I'm from, Charleston, South Carolina. Born and raised here my whole life, but I've been blessed to travel to many different states, a few different countries. I love traveling, but there's no place like home. If you've heard anything about Charleston, you recognize about the cuisine is amazing. The people are friendly, we're nice for the most part. I'm from here though, so I can say that. So yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful place, It's home. I know a lot of people who are from here who have chosen to move to other places, and you can do that. That's cool. For me, I just felt that it's best for me to stay here because this is where I've been called to, Charleston, South Carolina.
Now, I noticed you don't have a heavy accent like most Charleston folks.
Well, I say this: I don't until I get upset. As soon as I get upset, the geech is alive and real. So the geech pops out when I get, a little perturbed, so to say. But yeah. I have a little bit, but it only comes out a certain time. Well, I'll tell you this. My musical journey just reflects my life. So initially, it wasn't Christian rap when I started. Well, no, I say that. So I started, let's say I was maybe 6 years old. Me and my brother are 4 years apart. And so there was the first rap that we ever learned. It was called Bible Break by a rapper named Stephen Wiley that my mother introduced us to, and we performed it at church. And so my brother pretty much learned all the words, and I was kind of the hype man at that point. And one of the highlights of that whole group that was short-lived, me and my brother, is one Sunday morning when we were performing that song, and he missed a word. And me being as young as I was, I didn't know, decorum. So I just said it on the microphone, "Hey man, you messed up." And so the congregation started laughing. I know my brother would never let me live this down. He was like, nudging me like, "Man, shut up," And I was like, "Nah, but you messed up." I kept saying it. So nonetheless, so I initially started as, I guess, a gospel rapper, but it was short-lived. So around the time I was a teenager, I kind of got into my own thing, being around friends, and that was a thing at the time, rapping, which pretty much hasn't changed even now. But we definitely were not doing gospel rap or Christian rap. So again, it mirrors my life. So as I had my conversion in my mid-teens, around 14, 15 years old, so my topics begin to change. My thought process began to change, and my music, it followed my lifestyle. So that's kind of how I got into it.
Would you say that was just because of culture or the way you grew up?
Well, my mother, she's an evangelist, has been an evangelist since I was, as far as I know. So it's always been a part of my life. It's been part of growing up. So I always had heard the gospel. I always knew about church and knew about God and stuff like that. I didn't adhere to it, of course, once I got my own mind frame. So I had to kind of relearn everything on my own terms. I had to get into God on my own terms. I had to build my relationship on my own terms. So it was always a part of my upbringing, but it didn't really hit me until like my mid-teenage years.
So you got a new album?
Yes.
So tell me something, like, I know in the past you had, what album, what number is this for you?
This is number 7. Number 7.
Number 7.
Yes.
7.
Yes.
So who is this project for?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This project is strictly Christ-centric. I've previously on different projects, I've purposely had messages that could go beyond the church. I purposely had messages that could reach pretty much anybody wherever they were. With this one, I pretty much just kind of kept it real Christ-centric. Like, listen, this is what I'm on. This is what I'm talking about. And for me, it was purposeful because it seems like now, man, a lot of people are running away from the name. They're running away from being associated with Christianity. They're running away from their belief system. Like, they will actually have the belief, actually live a certain kind of way outside of the spotlight, but the message they're giving folks, it's kind of blurred lines. It's kind of, you're not really sure what are they really about. That leaves you with a lot of questions. So with this one, I wanted to make sure I left nobody with any questions about what I'm about, what I'm on, what I'm talking about. The messages are very simple, very clear, but I put my flavor to it. So it's definitely dope, it's definitely fresh, but it's all Jesus on this.
So who would you say, not musically influenced, but what influences you? Why do you do what you do?
Man, I would say my family. I would say my family. I have a son, he's 14 years old. I have a daughter, she's 11. And especially with my 14-year-old, I see how culture impacts the way they think, impacts the way they move, impacts the way they do what they do. And of course, as a father, I'm never going to be super cool to my 14-year-old son. You know, it's just a different culture. It's just a different culture altogether. However, I want to make it to where, or at least present it to where, this is what this is about, right? It doesn't have to be stiff. It doesn't have to be cold. It doesn't have to be emotionless, right? Because you see that a lot now with the art that's being created. They want to connect. They want to give you their emotions. Like, you hear a lot of the, not necessarily emo rap as it's been called, but a lot of emotion rap where people like, they're depressed all the time. They're, you know, going through things all the time. And they're really putting that into a lot of the music. So somebody has to give hope. And so my point of view, especially with this project, is I'm at least giving a reference of hope or a possibility of hope. I do talk about the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, but I also wanted to make sure I push hope. And again, so my purpose for doing this really is my family at this point, because I really want to make an impact on their lives as much as possible while they're young. So when they get old, they will not depart from it.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of rappers, you know, they might rap about, you know, the church, they might rap about the Bible and things like that, but their lifestyle is not really following really what they say.
Yeah,
so
correct.
This question is, are you saved?
Right.
And explain.
Well, the best way I can put it, yes, I'm saved. Let me say that first. But I liken it to grace and mercy. My pastor says it all the time. Grace is God giving you what you don't deserve, right? But mercy is God not allowing what you do deserve. And so when I think about my life is definitely full of grace, because he definitely blesses me and gives me things I do not deserve, because I just don't, right? And he's definitely shown a lot of mercy in my life, because there's a lot of things I do deserve, and he doesn't allow the evil to befall me, per se. So yes, I'm definitely saved. I definitely love the Lord. I do my best, and that's another reason why I wanted to really push that thought process on this project. Like, salvation is key. We're living in a time now where, man, there's a lot of stuff you hear. There's a lot of different persuasions, a lot of different religious affiliations, even within the body of Christ. And so I just felt it necessary to put my flag in the sand, let people know where I stand if there was a question. And so yes, I'm saved, and I really just wanted to push that envelope with this, like, just in case you were wondering, because of anything you heard I may have put out previously, this is what I'm on. For sure. You know what I mean?
And speaking of what you're on,
yeah,
you got this project. What's the name of this project again?
This project is called Restart. It's an EP called The Restart.
Okay, and tell us why Restart. Why you named it that?
So the whole thought process behind The Restart, 75% of this project was recorded during the pandemic, right? And while we were on lockdown, quarantine, especially in my area, Charleston, South Carolina. So we were on quarantine for right about a little over 2 weeks, right? Where everything was shut down. Everybody was on lockdown. And I just got into my creative zone. And I know a lot of people were struggling with that. They were like, I don't feel creative. I'm in the quarantine. Me, it was like the switch turned on. You know what I mean? So I just got in a real creative zone. God was kind of dropping some thoughts in me. And I was thinking to myself, because I kept hearing this talking point on different shows. During this time, it'll be a time of reset. I heard reset a lot. We're going to reset this, reset the economy, reset. You can reset your spiritual life. You can reset your family life. But I was thinking ahead. I said, well, after you reset, then what do? You got to restart. And I was thinking about everything I was able to just assess in my life, things I was able to observe in my life. Like, what do I want to change? Now that I got this time to think and reflect, what do I want to do different after we come out of this quarantine? What do I need to let go? What do I need to go towards even more? And so I was thinking to myself, what's after this? After the reset, it has to be a restart. And so with this project, I said, let me give a few different ideas or thought processes on how I plan to restart. And it might inspire some other people to look at things in a different way going forward. Because we're still kind of dealing with the pandemic and that kind of thing. But there will come a day after this where it might be a new normal, but it'll look a little more resemblant of what was before. So, and I know it's not a word, but I'm using it today. But it'll look kind of like things were before, maybe just with masks and things like that. So you got to restart at some point. So I just wanted to get people in the mind frame of thinking, what do I do next when we come through this?
And how many songs do you have on this project?
So on this one, it's 8 songs. It's an EP. I've did a few teasers up to this point. I've released a few songs here and there just to kind of get people kind of interested in the project and just kind of get an idea of what the sound is like. But I got some great things on the way. I think people are going to like some really good songs on here.
So now why 8? Was there a particular reason why you did 8, or it's just that's what you got? And
that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? It was no particular rhyme or reason for doing 8. That's kind of just where I ended up in the process. I actually have a little more than 8, maybe like 10 altogether. But trying to stick with the theme of the project, I just want to keep it at 8.
Any favorite songs on this?
Ooh, man. You know what it is? Yeah. Well, I say this. I think reflective of my mood, I have a different favorite. My single that's coming, or it might be out by now, depending on when you're seeing this. The first single, I Need Jesus, Every Day. That is like my bar none favorite. But then I got a song called Faith Move on the project. That's a favorite. I got a song called It's All Love. I got a song called Praying. I got a song called Running. It's just like I said, it kind of depends on the mood I'm in. But you know what? It doesn't even really matter what I think. It's what do y'all think? What's your favorite? I don't. I got many favorites, but let's see what y'all like.
Why should people purchase this product?
Well, I tell you what. In this particular time frame, you don't see a lot of purchases anymore, right?
Yeah.
People are streaming, right? People are pre-saving, they're pre-adding. I'd love it if you purchase. Trust me, I would. And if you do purchase, it's going to be a great purchase. It's going to be a great buy. Something that you can listen to on a repeated basis. But I think the theme of it, the messaging behind it, and the heart behind it, right? So the theme of it being the restart and how Jesus plays an integral part in our restart, or should be in our restart going forward in 2021, 22 and beyond, right? Also the messaging, how I keep it Christ-centric throughout the project, throughout all 8 songs. You're going to get a great idea of my thought process, what I think about things, my feeling, my view on certain topics. And then even beyond that, just how it can be a benefit. I know a lot of times people judge things based on the value it brings to your life. And for me, I always try to approach whatever I give people to have some type of value. So I'm believing it's going to have a great, immense amount of value that it can bless people with. So that's my hope. That's my goal. That's why I believe people should purchase it, please. But if not, stream it, catch it on YouTube, Spotify, all the different streaming sites.
Okay, that was going to be my last question.
Yes.
Where can they purchase or find this?
So there's going to be many places you can get it, but there's a centralized place you can get it, which is my website, onechoyce.com. That's www.onechoyce.com. The first thing that's going to pop up is different sites that you want to go to. Some have iTunes, some have Google Play. Pre-save, pre-add, pre-order, please. But all of it's right there on the website. So that's the easiest way for you to get it.
All right, any last thoughts you're going to leave with the audience?
So, at the end of the day, man, listen, keep God first, keep Christ at the center of everything you do. Make sure you get this new music, because I promise you it's banging, it's slamming, and on top of that, it has a great message, it has a great drive, it has a great theme. You can catch me on any social media at Choyce Music. It's at ChoyceMuzik. hit me up. I'd love to connect. If you want to shoot me an email, you can at info@onechoyce.com. That's info@onechoyce.com. Holla at your boy.